Alright, not to become too distracted, but day one of the new challenge so far. One trade on the only decent setup I've seen this morning, and that would be BTAI. We're up $118. Took a 2,000 share position. It was relatively short lived. This was the move right here on Compliance News. Now, I knew that this probably didn't have a ton of room to the upside, so I wasn't in it very long. I bought on the break of the VWAP. I was out right below that bottoming tail there. So that right there was enough to lock up $118 on day one. We are, of course, still going though. I'm watching the scanners right now. So we'll see what's in store, and I'm just going to pause this, and if something pops up that I like, I'm just going to quickly resume, and we'll try to get a live trade in so you guys can see kind of my thought process and how I'm going to handle this. S-Bet popping up here. It's just a little bit too expensive right now. For this account being as young as it is, I'm not comfortable taking a position on it, to be honest. Plus, as you can see, we got ascending resistance here that I marked out pretty clearly. I mean, that's irrefutable. And if we zoom out, you can see where I got this from. So this has maybe another 80 cents up, which on a stock priced this high, I just don't see being worth my time. So I'm gonna stay out of that. What else we got here? JFBR just making its way up the scanners here. It's a little cheap for me though. I'm gonna be picky until this account's pretty big. That's how you get a big account though. Okay, I don't hate this. If we get over $1, like over $1 and sustain it, not just a jackknife and an immediate reversal, I could consider it, but I really don't love that. I mean, that's pretty bad. On more shares of volume, just about 20k difference, so I don't love that. And I don't have a big cushion on the day either. $118, I could wipe that out like that. We'll see. We'll see what the level 2 is doing around there if we get there. If not, don't care. I'm not going to force myself to trade something I don't like. If you don't feel like you can manage your risk, then don't trade it. Best advice I could give you today. So if you're wondering, I'm looking for the size of these orders to be worth looking at. I'm looking for something over 20,000 share order blocks. Buy or sell. Near key levels. That's important. But this is pretty much just guaranteed not to be traded today after that. So back to the scanners. Just nothing I like. And see, that's the point. There's nothing that I like. There's nothing that I see on the scanners that I can validate trading, right? Because that's an issue that you can run into is you're getting bored, you're sitting here for an hour, 2 hours, and maybe you haven't made any money today, or you're down money, even worse, and you're getting itchy, and the first thing that fucking pops up, you're just like, boom, 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 boom. Just full port your account, you're in there, and next thing you know, because you couldn't control yourself, and you couldn't sit on your hands and just be patient and wait for your setup, now you're fucking rinsing your account. What the fuck? Like, sometimes you guys gotta sit down and ask yourselves, do you actually want this? Take a look at your actions. Sorry to go off on you right there, but I think sometimes you need to hear it. I was running into that a little bit at the end of this old account. I turned $6,000 into $19,000 in a month. I have it all right here. I'm actually going to start a new one here today. Get everything marked out. Today is May 27th. So between May and June. Today's a Tuesday, the 27th. Okay. Alright, we're curling up here. So now we're back to watching the level 2. Oh boy. One that has a history of making real big moves just jumped right ahead of JFBR, and that would be Jet AI Inc., JTAI. Price action looks miserable, to be honest. This looks like something I probably shouldn't touch. Other thing with trading is like first impressions are kind of everything. Right? Like at this point, if you've been trading as long as I have and you have the experience and the intuition, the second you see the chart, you should have an idea. You know what I mean? Like you should have an idea as to whether or not this is worth watching, worth looking at the level 2 on. Like don't waste your time and focus in areas where it's not going to benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Slow morning. Let's go take a look at SBET again. Curious to see if we stalled out where I thought we would. I don't know if JFBR is totally off my watch list yet. Okay, still pulling back. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to get a Poppy vibe here. Starting to think we're going to move up. Got a lot of this strength from the bottom, as you can tell. Look at all these bottoming tails. I mean, it wants to go up. I just don't know if I can manage my risk on it. But here we go. We're approaching the dollar. Getting some bullish divergence. MACD's open. Oh, whoa, whoa. Shit's sketchy. This shit is sketchy. Look how many times the signal line in the MACD wanted to go reverse. Look at that. And it just doesn't. It gets this close on the histogram. It gets this close, and then it just... That's how you know something's getting real fucking rocky. Boom. 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 I feel like if I sit here and wait, we're gonna get a better setup than fucking this shit, so... I say that, and then we get another bottoming tail. Ugh, I don't know what to do. One thing I'll say, though, is... to explain this, is stocks that trade below a whole dollar, they trade at the 1/1000th of a penny. But once they're over a dollar, then it's just regular, right down to the cent. So that means that this needs 10 times as many orders in and out or an influx of volume in order to make the same move that a stock over a dollar needs on much, much less, a fraction of that kind of influx. So if I were to show you guys this to make this make more sense, it would be on here. I'll show you guys on here on Paint in a second. I want to watch this closely because we might catch a quick move here. I don't want to take my eyes off this just yet. But a way for you just to check out here quickly would be the level 2. You can see how it's at like 0.9900, 0.9842, and below it's just 1152, right? You're not seeing 1152.85. Okay. Broke the dollar. Last time we did that, though, we got shoved back down. I'm going to wait for some kind of pullback entry here because I'm not just going to rush into this, to be honest. Big sell orders. One after another. Kind of asking myself right now, does this have the potential to go up more than it has to go down? And I don't see anything that says it doesn't necessarily, but I also don't see anything that's like making me feel very confident. But if we break this high here, I'm going to punch an order. There you go. There you go. That's why I was patient. That's why I was patient. If I jumped in right here, right up here, what are the chances that this is even liquid enough for me to get out? Not great, so that was easy. That was damn easy. Now we wait. That's the funny thing about trading. It's like 90% of trading is you literally doing nothing. It is literally you sitting here doing nothing. But you can make a lot of money doing it. And that is not the case with a lot of things in life. Okay, JTI. Jet AI Inc. Let's go take a look. This I had it on a side chart, and it's making a move here. Pretty big volume. Could be something to do with the 8 a.m. trading algos, but doesn't mean that we can't catch a move. It's moving. Acon, let's take a look at that quick. This is getting a little long of a video, considering there's been nothing going on, so I'm going to pause this quick. I'll be back if something is tradable though. Wow, okay, let's look at a short squeeze on SBET. The stock that we were just talking about is probably going to hit a wall. It just went from $11 to $35 in a minute and a half. This is insane. This is unbelievable. My account is just not large enough to even dare try to do something with this. I mean, look at this. What the actual hell? It has the characteristics that I'm preaching on the daily. Low float, under 1 million. News catalyst. Supply, demand. Now, if I had to guess, we had a huge seller that was shorting the fuck out of this thing right at my ascending line, because you can see that's where the rip started. It was tested right in pre-market. Boom. Here, I'm gonna break this down. We're gonna make this quick though, because I don't want to miss anything. But this is definitely diverting a shit ton of attention in the market right now, which isn't great for me for the rest of the morning, but that's okay. There's always an opportunity to learn. So, we had our ascending line of resistance. Okay, this is our line. And we had popped up and hit it and rejected. Popped up and hit it and rejected. And then something weird happened. We came up here, but we never touched it. But we also didn't double top because we actually broke the data highs of the previous one, right? So just to fill this bullshit in, this is going to be the dumbed down version because I'm not fucking Picasso. So we came up. Oh yeah, that's dead accurate right there, boys. Yeah, so we came up here. This thing is just absolutely moving. Okay. 8 a.m. hits. What do we see? 8 a.m. hits right here. We go, boom. We hit that mark right there, my ascending line. I'm willing to bet you there was probably a 6-figure short order trying to push this thing down Because why wouldn't you, right? Let's be real. This thing is tried and true on this line. Clearly, if you got 3 points of contact, you are right in the money in terms of being dead on. Let me just look at the scanners here really quick. I don't see anything. Alright, we're good. So, I'm willing to bet you a 6-figure seller was right there. Now, what happened? 8 a.m., high frequency trading algorithms, they kicked on. So there was a little manipulation. Maybe this thing had been, maybe the algorithm was short. Who knows? But I highly doubt it. I think they were shorting this, expecting the same old process, right? We would reject and head right back down. And you're locking up big money on something like that with that size. Or you have to cover and you have to buy back your shares. So what happened? Well, when it didn't reject, when there was enough volume to maintain, this person had to buy their shares back. So what happened? This now became a green order. And that's what caused the short squeeze on SBET. That is what we are looking at right now. Pretty amazing. I mean, to go from, what were we at here? $11 to $35. Oh my God. In just a matter of minutes, guys. Like, come on, that's insane. That's actually hard to believe. That's roughly what I could have just turned this account into in a minute and a half if I had been somehow lucky enough to catch this squeeze. Just to put it in perspective for you guys. Wow. Alright, that's probably going to wrap up my morning on here. I'm going to pause this. Like I said, if I see something that looks good, I'll share with you guys what I'm doing. But if not, this might just be a wrap.